Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today I'm doing a ninja deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because it's been a long time since I actually updated this deck. It's a fantastic deck that can totally lock down your opponent from even playing the game, where all they can do is basically normal summon monsters to their side of the field. They can't set spells, traps, or even set monsters to their side of the field, and it's a really awesome deck. I really love the way the deck plays, about how it locks down your opponent completely and can even summon out some really amazing ninja monsters along the way. So with that further ado, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your day in description every single video, getting a signed cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron, along with test hands. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo, which is probably the best normal summon in the entire deck. It has an ability that when this card is normal summoned, you get to add 1 ninjutsu art card from your deck to your hand, which is, you have some really fantastic ones in this deck for this card to actually search. And when this card is flip face up or special summon, you get to add a ninja monster from your deck to your hand, which is a really good effect just to give you additional searches. So regardless of how you summon this card to your side of the field, you're always going to be searching. We then play 3 copies of Yellow Ninja. Yellow Ninja is really good because it's a wind monster, so it plays into a lot of the cards into the deck. And it also has the ability that if this card is normal summoned or flip face up, you can special summon a level 4 or lower ninja monster from your hand in attack position or face down defense position. And also you can't special summon monsters in the extra deck for the rest of the turn except for ninja monsters, which is the only downside to this card. It's still a fantastic card because it's a 1900 attack point monster that basically can special summon out any ninja from your hand to help you out with all sorts of different plays. We then play 3 copies of Upstart Golden Ninja. This card is a really good card in this deck to help you out in all sorts of different plays. We are playing a lot of traps in this deck, so this card helps out a lot. It has the ability that you can send a trap card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon a level 4 or lower ninja monster from your deck in face up or face down defense position, which is really good to help us out with rank 4 plays and just getting us all sorts of monsters on our side of the field. So you've got to play 3 copies of Upstart Golden Ninja. We then play 3 copies of Twilight Ninja. This card is a really good card. Jowgen is a really good card in this deck because it has the ability to reveal any ninjutsu art card in your hand to special summon this card from your hand, and if this card attacks a defense position monster, it inflicts piercing damage. Its pendulum effect is also pretty good because if your ninja monster attacks a defense position monster, it inflicts piercing damage. So this card can actually play in really well in the pendulum zone, but you're never going to pendulum summon in this deck because we don't play the other scale card in this particular build. We then play a single copy of Twilight Ninja Getsuga, the Shogun. This card is a good one of in the deck. It has the ability that you can tribute summon this card by tributing 1 ninja monster on your side of the field, and if this card is in attack position, you can target 2 ninja monsters in your graveyard and then change this card in defense position if you do special summon those monsters to your side of the field. So this is a fantastic card to get you an instant rank 4 on your side of the field because you're going to special summon out any 2 of your ninjas from the top row back to your side of the field, which is going to get you basically an instant rank 4, which is really good for this deck. We then play 2 copies of Dark Smorg, which is going to be the main way that we're locking down our opponent and going to be the target for our ninjutsu art of transformation. This card is a great lockdown card because it has the ability while face on the field, this card is also treated as a win attribute, and it has a really good effect that you can banish a dark and a wind monster from your graveyard to special summon this card from your hand, which can be your yellow and your Hanzo from your graveyard. It also has the ability that basically you can special summon it as well by banishing a dark monster and wind monster from your hand to special summon this card from the graveyard, which can bring itself back, which is a really great effect. But the really awesome thing that helps you lock down your opponent about this card is your opponent cannot set any cards to the field. This is a really powerful effect because it makes it so they can't set trap cards on their side of the field, they can't set spell cards, and they can't set monsters at all. And with another card that we play in the deck, Anti-Spell Fragrance, this card is going to basically lock your opponent down where you're having Anti-Spell Fragrance, making it so your opponent can't activate spell cards, and this card is making it so they can't set traps, they can't set monsters, and they can't set those spells to be able to activate them later on the following turn. So basically this card instantly locks down your opponent to only being able to normal summon monsters monsters under the anti-spell fragrance Dark Smorg lock. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the few spells that we play in this deck. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of our Reinforcements of the Army, because it's going to let us add any of our ninjas from our deck to our hand that are level 4 or lower. So basically Yellow, Upstart, and Hanzo, you can actually search with this card, so it's a very good card in the deck. We're playing a single copy of Double or Nothing, because you can summon out Utopia Double pretty easily in this deck to be able to OTK your opponent, because they're only going to be able to normal summon monsters. Now keep in mind, under Anti-Spell Fragrance, you are going to have to set this card and then wait a turn to OTK your opponent, but you can still make a 5,000 beat stick, which is really good, because what you can do basically with this card is summon Utopia Double, detach a material, summon Utopia on top of it, it'll go to 5,000, search Double or Nothing, and then attack your opponent and negate the attack with your Utopia, drop Double or Nothing, and then attack again for 10,000. However, if you have Anti-Spell Fragrance, you will have to set this a turn, which is okay, but you're still going to have to set it for a single turn to be able to OTK your opponent. But if you don't have Anti-Spell Fragrance, this is a great OTK method. We then play 2 copies of Magic Planter, because you can send a face-up continuous trap you control to the graveyard to draw 2 cards, which is really good for this deck to be able to just send any 2 card or any continuous trap you control to the graveyard to be able to draw 2 additional cards. We play 2 copies of the Hidden Village of Ninjutsu Art. This card is a really good 2-of in the deck. It has the ability that if a ninja monster is summoned to your field, you can target a ninja monster or ninjutsu art in the graveyard and add that card back to your hand, but you can't activate it this turn or cards with the same name of that card for the rest of the turn. If a ninja monster or a ninjutsu art you control would be destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect, you can banish a ninja card from your graveyard instead, which protects a lot of your cards, like your ninjutsu arts, from being destroyed, which is really good. We then play 2 copies of the ninja art or armored ninjutsu art of alchemy. This card lets you send a, if you control a ninjutsu art card, you can destroy as many other ninjutsu art cards you control as possible, and then draw 2 cards, which comes in very handy with our next card, which is Ninjutsu Art Notebook. Notebook is really good because it has the ability to once per turn send any ninja monster from your hand to the graveyard, and then set a ninjutsu art spell or trap directly from your deck, which can be the ninjutsu art of alchemy, to get you a draw 2, which is really good. This card is even searchable off of Hanzo, which is a fantastic effect. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. With the traps, I have actually gone into a very trap heavy build. So for the traps, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Summon Limit, because it's going to slow down the opponent a lot. We're not going to be special summoning a whole lot. We usually only special summon twice per turn in this deck anyways. So this basically locks down the opponent where they can only special summon twice per turn and only summon twice per turn at all. So this card is a very good card in this deck. We'll play 3 copies of Crackdown, because we can take away our opponent's normal summon. Now keep in mind they can still special summon, but being able to just grab that additional or that normal summon that they go for during the beginning of their turn when you have the Smorg lock is going to be so pivotal. So using cards like Crackdown is just fantastic in this deck. We'll play 3 copies of Ninjutsu Art of Transformation. Transformation is a great card, and the whole reason this deck actually even works, because what this card does is you activate this card, tribute a ninja monster to special summon 1 beast, wing beast, or insect monster from your hand or deck whose total levels is equal to the level of the tributed monster plus 3. Now your copy of Dark Smorg is a level 7 monster. Hanzo, Upstart, and Yellow Ninja are all level 4. So 3 plus 4 is 7, so you can special summon them out using this card. You can actually special summon out Dark Smorg basically for free. Well, kind of not, because you have to tribute a ninja monster and use this card, but it's still really good when you combo it with Anti-Spell Fragrance, because Anti-Spell Fragrance makes it so both players have to set spell cards before they're activated. But with Dark Smorg, you can't set spells, so this card basically locks your opponent down where they can't even activate spells or traps, which is really good because they can't set them to be able to activate them. The only card that they'll be able to activate is cards like Infinite Impermanence that immediately activate from the hand. We then play 3 copies of Call of the Haunted. Call of the Haunted is basically here because you're playing all these continuous traps in the deck to be able to basically use them with your copies of your Magical Planter or Magic Planter, and use them with cards like that to be able to get you additional draws. Now, I did consider throwing in a single copy or 2 copies of Uriah, Lord of Searing Flame, over a copy of Ninjutsu Art of Notebook, which is an option for you guys if you want to throw in a copy of Uriah because of the amount of continuous traps that you're playing in the deck to give you an alternative boss monster, because a lot of times you're going to have multiple face-up continuous trap cards. So that is an option for you guys if you want to throw in a copy of Uriah over a copy of Notebook is a total option for you guys, or if you want to drop the double or nothing for a copy of Uriah to give you a boss monster that you can draw into instead of special summon from the extra deck, you can do that as well. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Ninja Grandmaster Saizo. Saizo is a pretty good card in this deck. It has the ability to, during your main phase, you can set a ninjutsu, art, spell, or trap directly from your deck. You only use effect of this card once per turn. And while this card points to a monster, this card cannot be targeted with attack, and also your opponent cannot target it with card effects. So this card is a really good card to combo with your Dark Smorg, because if you just let this card point to the Dark Smorg and they have to deal with that monster before they can deal with this card, because during your main phase, you're going to get more ninjutsu, spell, or traps that you're going to set to your side of the field, which thins the deck. So this card's a really good card. But a single copy of Access Code, this could easily be Boral Sword or Boral Load if you want to go for a little bit more budget option, but it's still a great card to be able to pop cards on your opponent's side of the field and give you a really big beat stick. We then play a single copy of Unicorn to spin stuff, Phoenix to pop spells and traps, and Cerberus to pop monsters. These are just the best 3 of your Nightmare monsters, so they're really good to be able to play in any deck, but they're fantastic in this deck because they're going to give you additional pops and spins against your opponent's cards. 1 copy of IP Masquerena to round out the Link monsters to be able to Link summon during your opponent's turn. 1 copy of Utopia Double, because you can make this and then attack for 10,000, which is really good, by overlaying into a copy of Utopia. These are really good cards in the extra deck, because basically all you have to do is make Utopia double, detach a material, summon Utopia, add the copy of Double or Nothing from deck to hand, 5,000 attack points, swing at the opponent, detach a material, drop Double or Nothing, and then you win the game if it has 2,000 or less attack points. Your opponent starts with 8,000, so you pretty much win the game with 1 swing, which is why I personally play it. But if you want to play Uriah, you can drop the Utopia Double for another rank 4 monster that you might want, but it's still a fantastic card in my opinion for this deck. We then play a single copy of Utopia the Lightning, because if you do play the copy of Utopia Double, sometimes you will draw into the copy of Double or Nothing, which turns off the copy of Utopia Double. Which is why I chose to play a single copy of Utopia the Lightning, because it's a 5,000 attack point monster that can basically just swing at my opponent by overlaying it on top of a copy of Utopia. We then play a single copy of Blade Armor Ninja. It can attack twice by detaching a material, or any ninja that it targets can attack twice, which is a great effect for this deck, because some of them can get pretty big. 1 copy of number 41 Baguska, just to basically shut down the opponent. 1 copy of Double A Zeus, because it can be really big and totally board wipe, which is really great for this deck. Number 27 Dreadnought, because it can make a copy of Super Quantal Mech King Great Magius, which is a good card for this deck because basically it's a mistake when it has 2 or more materials, because once per turn during either player's main phase, it has the ability to be able to shuffle 1 random card on the field into the deck, and it's a 3,600 beat stick. It doesn't gain that mistake effect unless it has 6 or more materials, so basically you just get that shuffle back, which is still a really great effect for an XZ monster to play in this particular build. So I love the way this deck plays. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely tell me what you think of this deck down in the comments down below. It is a super fun deck to be able to play around with. I love the way it plays. It's been a while since I updated this build, because before I was doing the high 5 lock where you played Perform Pal 5 Rainbow Magician in this build, but I found it to be too inconsistent, so I just went for something simpler with this build where you just do the Smorg lock with anti-spell fragrance, and it's worked out really well to be able to control the opponent. The only thing that I really have considered doing is putting that Uriah in, like I talked about before, to be able to give you an additional boss monster, and plus it's a pyro monster, which is still pretty cool to have you a really big flaming dragon that you can essentially summon to your side of the field out of nowhere, and it can get absolutely humongous. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely tell me what you think of this deck down in the comments down below, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.